Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming, and in the last video, the one that you can see up there right now that is not quite done being produced, we began creating the PayrollDbContext.cs file. Alright, and let's see if it is done. There it is. Okay, so going back to our program, we left off right here. We're in there on model creating. All right, one thing I wanted to do is, because I forgot to do it before, is this employee class right here. This class, this should be abstract. Why should it be abstract? Because you can't create just an employee. It has to be a type of employee. Let's close a bunch of these. I don't think I need them. All right, we're still in our on model creating here. All right, and we want to come in here and we want to basically say, let's see, employee abstract table. I think I'm going to rename that as employee abstract. I think that'll work better. Okay. So again, let's do a file save all here, just to show indeed that it is abstract. All right, now let's see. Okay, so we have one already in our payroll lib. What's in there? Let's look. It's a payroll form abstract. See one called payroll abstract in here. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, there it is, employee abstract. All right, that's okay. Come back to this one, and we will call this employee DB abstract. Okay, that should be fine without any problems. So file, save all. Let's go back to here, which will make this having to be DB abstract. We're doing a mapping here. All right, we're letting the system know that employee DB abstract is going to be the table employee. All right. Builder entity employee abstract. The table employee, that looks good. All right. We want to configure this to use the primary key for the employee DB abstract table. We will use what is referred to as a shadow property here, meaning that ID must exist in the class being used, and EF or entity framework will track it even if it's not defined in the class, which is what we did. We did not define it in the class. All right, and that'll be builder dot entity, again, employee DB abstract dot has key, and that key again will be ID. So even though we didn't put the ID field in each of our derived tables, the hourly employee table, the piece worker employee table, the commission employee table, and the salaried employee table, we're still going to be able to reference it. So now we want to configure the ID property to auto-generate values. This is equivalent to an identity 1.1 used by SQL Server. And we saw that previously in some of the other stuff that we've been working with. So this will ensure that a new employee will automatically get a new ID, which is what you'd want anyway. So this is builder dot entity employee DB abstract dot property, and it's an integer, and it is called ID dot value generated on add. Like I said, I'm trying to put comments in here so you can hopefully figure out everything that we're doing. Okay? All right, next. Just going to say here we configure because I said we up above. So next, we configure the employee type property. Remember, this is our discriminator. With a has max length 50. This will limit the string size of this field in the database. We will also add an is required option to ensure every employee row has a valid employee type. So again, a builder dot entity, our employee DB abstract. This I think is going to be so long, I'm going to have to, in fact, I should have done that here, I think. Put that over multiple lines. Let's just do that so you can see everything that's going on here. We'll do that in all of these. There. You can put it on multiple lines like that. It doesn't hurt anything. So from where we are right here, dot proper, oh, hello. Put your hands on the right keys there, Jeff. All right, dot property string employee type. Jeez Louise, Jeff. Dot has max length of 50. That's probably bigger than we need, but it's fine. Dot is required. All right. We're still working here. We're still inside, and then we've got a pretty long model creating, but most of it is comments anyway. That should be a semicolon. All right, next. Remember that EFCore uses the discriminator, which again we said is employee type, to know which derived type each database record corresponds to. We will explicitly define the mapping from the discriminator values to the concrete classes. All right, so builder dot entity db, whoopsie, it's employee DB abstract. Again, let's put this on multiple lines. Dot has discriminator and we'll let it know what that discriminator is. It's a string and it is called employee type. That's the column, again, from the employees table. You know that. We've talked about that already. Dot has value. Now we're going to do the mapping here. So, hourly employee to hourly. And we want to do the other ones as well, so I'm just going to copy this. All right, so piece worker employee, we'll go to piece. Commission employee, we'll go to commission. And salaried employee, we'll go to salaried. I think that's it for this one, but all right. We are almost done, believe it or not. So next, remember we are using TPT, or table per type mapping here. This means that each derived class will get its own table storing only the specific columns for that class, needed for that class. PayrollEFCore will automatically link each derived table to the base table using the primary key, which we already said was ID, as a foreign key in that table. All right. So again, we're going to do this 4 times. Oops, I don't want to do that. I don't even know what I did there. All right. First, the hourly employee table. I'll put that in a second. Second, the piece worker employee table. Third, the commission worker, just commission, employee table. And fourth, the salaried employee table. So let's put these in. Get rid of this. Just put a blank line there. All right, so first, they're all going to look pretty much the same. So builder.entity. First one will be hourly employee dot to table. And to which table? Hourly employee. Second, and I'm hoping I didn't make any mistakes on this, we're going to find out pretty quickly, will be the piece worker. Next will be the commission employee. And finally, will be the salaried employee. Now, and if you say, okay, fine, what the heck is this doing? In English, what this is doing here is this is saying, okay, when we use the hourly employee table, we'll have access to the hours worked and hourly rate. When we use the piece worker employee table, we'll have access to the pieces made and price per piece. When we use the commission employee table, we'll have access to the commission percentage and sales amount, and when we use the salaried employee table, we'll have access to the salary. All right, I believe that's everything I want to do here. Now, I could have missed something, but I don't think I did. Now, remember, the abstract base table, the employees, contains only the properties we're going to share. That's the ID and the employee type. And EFCore is going to use that employee type column as our discriminator. Our derived tables, each class has its own table storing only its unique properties. We talked about this before. Entity Framework will automatically set up a one-to-one relationship between the derived table, again, whether it's hourly table, piecework, or hourly employee, pieceworker employee, commission employee, or salaried employee, with the employee abstract table. All right. We need this DB set if we want to do queries, but we also need it for CRUD. Okay, we can still add data annotations if we need to, and we can go back and do that. I don't care. Finally, the discriminator is going to make sure that Entity Framework knows which concrete class it's supposed to be creating when it's loading data, and the values must match what we assign in the constructors, or if we were using C data, which we're not. All right. Now, I don't know if this will work or not, but I'm going to try it anyway. And that is, what do we want to do? We want to do an update database. And what's the other command? I don't even know. I'm sorry. Been a long day. What are the commands? What are the C# NuGet package manager to create a new database? There's two of them. One is update database, and what's the other one? Add migration. I don't know why I couldn't remember that, but we're going to see if this works. So add migration. We always call ours initial create. If we get an error here, I'm just going to basically put it down and try to figure it out and go back to this tomorrow or the next day. Build failed. Well, that ain't good. Okay, I'll have to try to figure out why the build failed, and we'll pick it up there next time. I got to go back and look over what I've got and what I've over my notes. I might have missed something here. All right, we'll see. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.